Do you want to paint this little mushroom with me in just about 10 minutes? Let's dive into it. I just drew the outline. Now I'm gonna wet the paper. So for now I just wet the cap, mushroom's cap, and then I work in gradients, meaning that I will start from the lightest value, from the lightest colors I see. So in this case, it's like this mushroom has some yellow undertones here on this side too. This is Naples yellow, and that's permanent orange. Let's go all around here. And I love, 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 love color and color variations. So that's what my paintings are all about. Then I also like to add some cool undertones, and I usually choose either like French ultramarine or cobalt blue. Here, I think they add a very interesting look to things, you know what I mean? There you go. And if you place the blue next to the orange when the paper is wet, it's not going to turn that muddy. It just gets naturally muddy, and that's exactly what I like to see. So for the best effect, I think I will let this part dry. So when I go over it, the colors are not going to mix together, especially because I'm working on cheaper Bao Hong paper. This one is not really good for wet things. So now I'm mixing ultramarine and some transparent Mars red from My Murray Blue. So it gives me a very muted tint. With this one, yeah, why not? I'll just go in here wet on dry because it's such a tiny little mushroom. And yeah, so like that. Now I want to make it a touch warmer, so transparent Mars red, Naples yellow, and I'll go in here, just play with the colors. It's very fun. Like when you blend colors on the paper, like the best, most unexpected combinations come up, and I really love that. So there you go. And basically now I need to switch paintbrush. I'm going for a smaller one, and also paint consistency. So I'll go from watery to creamier paint consistency. This way I can move on and paint darker values. With this small stiffer brush, I also like to lift where I want to restore some highlights, so you can see the light comes right back. Okay, so here now I have a mix of transparent Mars red, it's a creamy one, and some cerulean blue. Why cerulean? Because its mass tone is not that intense, and so it will give me a darker yet not so dark of a value. Mass tone simply means the color of the paint when it's thick and concentrated. It's basically the paint at its darkest, straight from the pan or tube. Now I'm basically laying down this mix that I just mentioned, and then I will soften up the edges and drag the colors throughout the mushroom cap. And if you're wondering why I chose Naples yellow or the orange I used before, permanent orange, there is not really a real reason. It's just that Naples yellow was sitting in my palette for so long. I haven't used it in ages, and I thought that was just a good time to give it a shot. And the same goes for cerulean blue. It's not a blue I typically reach for. This one has a very powerful granulation, which makes it ideal to create some textures and make things more interesting in general. And again, the mass tone in cerulean blue is very gentle, so it doesn't overpower your mix like a phthalo blue would do, so it's very easy to mix colors with cerulean blue, I feel like. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that directional lines in a painting are really important. They guide your eye through the composition. So be mindful of your brush strokes. In this case, direct them from side to side and top to bottom to recreate the roundness of the cap. Now I'm starting to add my midtones, and I'm using yellow ochre, transparent Mars red, and a touch of primary red magenta for that touch of vibrancy. And I don't know if I mentioned it before, but transparent Mars red is basically a more transparent version of burnt sienna. It's one of my favorites in this color range because it's highly transparent. I'm not going to put it everywhere. Now I'm going in with the darker midtones. So I lit in my brush with alizarin crimson and transparent Mars red. And the reason for this choice is because I want the mushroom to give a warm feeling. I'm not gonna place it everywhere. I just leave some breathing room for the light to shine through. I'm a big supporter of leaving parts of the painting unfinished. Not only it makes the painting more interesting, but it enhances the contrast. In a moment I'll be switching paint consistency because I want to get in with the darker layer of midtones. Now thicker paint, thicker, thicker, thicker. With my smaller round brush, I'm dabbing in this thicker paint. Give some dimension to this mushroom and let the paint do the blending. I mainly apply the darker values on top of the midtones, and occasionally I would go over to the highlights to add some interest and some variation. But make sure if you do, don't overdo it because I know the temptation is high, so just be mindful of that. I'm not gonna close that line because I like it better unfinished. And then here. In a moment I'm going to intensify this corner of the mushroom. I'll reach for burnt umber and alizarin crimson. I could have opted for blue too. And by blue I mean indigo or a phthalo blue that's very rich, but I wanted to keep it on the same warmth, and that's why I went for burnt umber instead. Okay, now that I like the way that it looks, I'm going to start lifting some paint. I'm using a flat brush. This is one of the cheapest brushes that I bought in the beginning of my painting journey, and it came in a set. I don't really use this brush that much, maybe because it's flat and I'm always, lazy at changing my brushes. But I should. I actually enjoyed it using it. I like it for lifting because the bristles are pretty hard. The water capacity is not that much, but that's actually not a problem, especially when you work with thicker paint consistency. In fact, I'd rather use some harder brushes for that because you don't get your thicker paint diluted and the risk of creating blooms is inferior. Yeah, I like this brush and I should actually make a point to use this brush more often. I'm switching back to my round 3 brush, the Da Vinci Cosmotop Spin. Now I'm going to add some little water droplets to create that extra texture and so that it resembles more to the reference picture that I'm looking at. We're so close to the end of this, but I feel like maybe some splatter also could be good. So I'll just add some splatter too in a moment. And it's so easy to get carried away, and you need to have the ability in watercolor to know when to stop. Here, I should do some more negative painting on the outside, but later. Anyway, I'm gonna paint the background to show that you can actually shape the mushroom, again with some negative painting, which is something that I like very much. So let's add some yellow first. This. And then I'll go over it with some copper green, light sap green, primary sap green. Then lift here maybe, where we left it open, so it seems like the light is shining through even here. So yeah, glowing mushroom. Lifting, lifting. If you want, you can blur the edges to give it that kind of effect. And I should add some more intensity to this. Let's see, let's test this color combination, which is quinacridone magenta, transparent Mars red, and some green. What do we think? just to frame the mushroom a bit. So maybe here. I covered it too much. I knew it. Anyway, there you go. If you want to rescue it, we can go in with a lifting brush and lift it, lift it, lift it, lift it. Here too, there's this little weird bleed. You can try to fix it like this. And then you can still lift it, or you can add some water droplets. You can always play with your paintings. So water droplets make everything nice and pretty, I think. A little more rays of sunshine. There you go. And now I'm going to be adding the ground. I'll freestyle as best as I can, so strap yourself in. Apologize for the baby grunting, she's falling asleep, and from any other noise from my lively household. Doesn't look like much, however. Let's put it in here. And voila! I like my French more than my Italian. Anyway, it's finished. You can do some little embellishments here and there, or glaze if you want some extra vibrancy. And just like I said before, now I'm painting in the direction of the volume of the mushroom. So I'm going from side to side and top to bottom, and I will try to be mindful not to make a one long stroke, but rather guide the viewer's eye along the mushroom. And this is basically the end of it. Thank you so much for painting along with me if you did. I really appreciate your support and all the kind words that came my way recently. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below and I'm very happy to answer you. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!